We're going to talk about marketing today a little bit, probably. This is the best marketing. I got a text from Jeremiah at Potts this morning, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? Can I stop over? And I'm like, sure. You know, obviously social distance practices. And I get this in hot dogs, of course, and my Potts mask.
That's outstanding.
So tell them I'm deeply offended, and I like Tyler as well. I mean,
I'll send him your address. But this is the new. We're here with Fred Koons of KSA&D. I got it. And we're gonna be talking about like maybe doing stuff like this. I was looking at masks last night for Lehigh Valley with Love. Like these are pretty inexpensive, but there's some like pricey models. You know.
Yeah, we actually have some of our own. I don't have one on hand right now. The kids are probably playing with it right now, which I guess is probably not the best if doctors are looking at that. But so it's like folded. We use the ampersand, like on the shirt. We use the ampersand, right. And it's folded. And as you put it over your face, it kind of stretches over your mouth, and then you see the full thing. It's pretty sweet. Another good one. We have a client, Keystone Precision Solutions, and George Allport, the guy that runs the company, he got these masks in that literally look like Master Shredder from the Ninja Turtles.
See that? Yeah.
The sickest thing ever. It's awesome.
It's crazy that we were talking about that in the After Dark show. We have like a late night show. There will be a time where masks become a fashionable. Like you will judge somebody based on their mask, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, look at that mask. That's an Under Armour mask. They couldn't even, you know, I got this Louis Vuitton one. You know, it's gonna be stuff like that
for a second. Well, no, because in the beginning I was looking into it and I thought, you know, capitalizing on the mask thing the first 2 weeks in felt very cheap, you know, like you're capitalizing on a bad thing. But now, I don't think people would find it offensive. So
no, if you look at Barstool Sports right now, I think they're selling masks for like $18.99 a pop.
Yeah, Tyler, can you get on that? Let's go.
Get on what?
I don't know. I'm messing with it. We got to get some masks. We got to do it. So, Fred,
I can start sewing. You want me to start sewing? You want to wear a mask that I've sewed?
If you sewed a mask, I would totally not wear it.
No, I wouldn't wear it.
So, Fred, how have things been for you? If you could kind of, for people who don't know you, maybe kind of say, you know, what you do, what your company does, and how you guys have been coping during this time.
Sure. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy time. I come from a little bit of a different background in being that before coming back to the Lehigh Valley, I was in the military for 8 years. With
Thank
about
you
3 years.
For your service.
Oh, thanks, man. With about 3 years between Iraq and Afghanistan. So then coming back here and getting overweight and sitting at a desk in a advertising agency role is a little bit different for me, but it's definitely I've landed in the right place. I would say
I have a question. Is it because of the whiskey that you guys drink and the office cigarettes? That's the only thing I know about ad agencies is what I've seen on Madden.
No whiskey there, and I should embarrassingly say I think I'm the only smoker at the agency. So yeah, and I did pick that up at in the military. So eventually we'll let that.
Hey, Tyler, we have an ad agency right here, and there's lots of whiskey.
Sometimes too much, George.
And Trulies. I think it's mad at me because I'll drink Trulies, but it's like I have no time for myself, and then I need to like run the show and produce it, so I'm just hanging out.
It's always good when the producer is teetering on a blackout. That's always
I was totally fine. I was a little tuned up. Well, we watched Commando last night, and we were able to show a lot of it on screen, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah,
Marco Andretti was on. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, thanks. That's easy guy to follow up there, George. No, Commando. Yeah, that's how I put my kid to bed. My 7-year-old. We watched that real quick, and
Nice.
no nightmares.
That's a good move.
Yeah, yeah, strong parenting move.
Good bedtime movie.
Yep. So no, it's COVID's been a little bit crazy as far as I always try to relate like everything I would do in my military service to my experience in real life, so to speak. And I would say it's kind of a pivot from, and everybody uses the word pivot. I hate to use that, but it's a switch from almost when we were in like a kinetic, we were fighting, and then the switch to hearts and minds. We're there to win hearts and minds. We're there to country rebuild. We've gone from like overnight, putting billboards out. We're the best. We're the greatest for our clients, websites, things like that, to a switch where you have to be a little bit more sensitive in your messaging and in the things that you're doing. We've been fortunate enough to work with a number of the essential organizations in the area, like a Good Shepherd, St. Luke's, places like that. So it's been really interesting to see. It's cool. All the different like physicians, administrative staff, the marketers that are there, to see how tirelessly they've really worked to make sure that the patients are in the front role. And then looking on the government side, doing web work for South Whitehall and for the city of Bethlehem. It's really interesting, the dynamic about how things have continued to roll, but just staying flexible, I guess, is the best way.
It's been watching a lot of different marketing and videographers and everybody. It's been fun because obviously it's not a fun time, but people like yourself and other like even graphic designers are all holed up and they're coming up with cool ideas and different ways to market. And I sometimes get jealous because I'll see some good idea and I'm like, damn it, I wish I thought of that, and try to think of something. So it's been really fun to watch things that are coming out and seeing how people are pivoting.
Yeah, it's been wild since it started. I think when it started, it was a big rush, get an alert on our site, get information out about COVID. And this is across everybody. This is across, even Josh Early Candies. So we're letting them know that, that they're not giving service now. They're going to be opening up for curbside. It's that the immediate get it on there, let people know. And now it's more, how do we get back to, I'll use the term real life again. But I don't know if it'll ever be, the same as before we left it. But it's certainly been a wild ride as far as the marketing and advertising agency.
I've had like 2 mental breakdowns. I had one on air too. It's just crazy. It's been wild every day. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's not like, obviously there are people who are in much worse positions. So I don't want to, take anything away from that. But every day has been crazy, figuring out what's going on. It's not even the government stuff. Like, who knows? Bars could start having rogue openings soon. And I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know what's going to happen each day. And it's been somewhat fun and somewhat not.
Yeah, it's a lot of content to digest. That's for sure. I sit down every night, after work's done, after I play with the kids go to bed, all the madness kind of shuts off. And then obviously I'm like looking through news feeds and I'm looking through the newspaper and seeing what's going on. I mean, you've got the guys out in Belmar right now. You've got, things around here.
There's Hanover Township. I don't know the name of the gym, but there's one in Hanover Township that's opening Sunday.
Yeah,
it's like they did the wooden match thing. The concert was in on Billboard.com.
Yeah,
it's like the wooden match had like an outdoor concert last Saturday, and it was a controversial event, and it ended up on Billboard.com.
Yeah,
our little town right here was featured in that big magazine. So it's like, it's wild. It's wild what's going on, and we're all kind of trying to sift through all the info and all the.
Well, it's crazy, because on one hand, I want to be like, yay, wouldn't match. And on the other hand, I'm like, wow, that's so dumb. Like, at the same time, like, that's why it's so crazy, because I don't know how really to react. I hope that we can reopen as soon as possible, but then, I want to make sure it's safe. So
there's some wild.
That's why we're going to be
There's
But
some
go ahead.
wild regulations. Like last night, I drove down to Wertz in Allentown to grab a burger. I got a double rum and Coke and a to-go cup on my way out. This is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Wait, was it like what kind of
it's
cup?
like-
Tell me it's a styrofoam cup with a plastic lid.
It is, sir, a styrofoam cup.
So,
Yeah,
you
with
know
a
what?
plastic
That's
lid.
how it has to be.
I love that is crazy. It's like almost like we've like over-regulated ourselves into free chaos. You know,
It's just-
like
Well, because you
just
feel
leave
like
a bar
you're
with a
breaking the
drink.
law.
it's like over-regulation breeds this like
No,
lawless
oh my
society.
God, absolutely. If one of the examples I could use, I was down at Fort Polk, Louisiana. This is going back like 10 years. And the little town there, I think it's Enterprise. No, I don't even know what the town's called, but it's like one road. There's maybe 3 stores. 2 of them were drive-through margarita stands. And I remember being there. I was like, this is, what, am I in heaven? What is this? This will never come to Pennsylvania. And then just the climate has changed. And here I am getting a styrofoam
Well, yeah,
cup.
I mean, you're right. Because even Molly, like we work with Molly's, and I'm talking with the owner. He's like, it's a go. I'm like, are you positive? Because this is insane. We're telling people, you know, the state has said that you can get a 16-ounce mixed drink of whatever you want, and we'll give it in a cup, and you can take it in your car and leave. That's where we're at.
Yeah, my only thing is like, I don't need the straw. I mean, I'll probably open it when I get home. Probably in the car.
Yeah, don't let me tempt myself, right? You know,
Isn't that the regulation? They have to put the sticker over the lid,
right.
And then it's closed.
The ultimate deterrent is the sticker. That's right.
There was a piece of Scotch tape right over the hole. So
did the person who's writing that law? Were they looking at someone else like, all right, like it's just funny that's the regulation.
Oh, absolutely.
I love the idea too in Louisiana how there's a competing margarita drive-through stand.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Pats and Genos of that town. Like, which one do you go to? You go to the one on the right side of the street or the left side?
I drove up to. Go ahead.
The best part of it was while we're down there, like this was their economy really, other than the military base. And we're all down there, and we're at this advisory academy, right? We're getting ready to go to Afghanistan, and my team is down there. The only guy on the team that had cell service was the guy that was using Boost Mobile. There was no Verizon wasn't working, Sprint wasn't working, like nothing. Boost Mobile, the guy that was boosting.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious.
So have things been otherwise?
So
like, have you? Go ahead. Go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, you mentioned how the new normal, basically, right? And I think that's kind of has a negative connotation to it, right? That we're going to have this new normal, but there's a different way to look at that too, right? There could be improvements there. The new normal might have some positive, some benefits for us, right? Too.
Absolutely. And there's so many ways of looking at it. If you look at, for instance, like schools right now, the CDC sitting down and setting their guidelines. I don't know how feasible they're going to be. I mean, having a 7 and a 3-year-old, it's hard enough getting them to throw on a mask for 5 minutes unless they're playing Ninja. But as far as like good things, I think, there's a number of considerations. I think people are going to be more conscious of each other's, space and things like that, whether you think that's a good thing or not.
Right.
I think the biggest thing that I see as far as getting back to that new normal or whatever it is that we say is getting people to understand at some point that it's okay to get back to regular life. I mean, if you look at the hospitals, I see constant messaging every day about, if you're sick, go to the emergency room. Like, to me, that's kind of, common sense. Like, get in the car, go, they'll take care of me. I mean, I'm at a risk to get sick there anyway.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, they're taking the best precautions. But
right.
I think if nothing else, it's going to make people think more.
Yeah. Which it's never bad.
Right.
It's never
exactly.
bad when we're using logic and our brains, instead of like blindly following this everybody does it. We, especially with the media and the news, we kind of just let them make our decisions because it's
right.
You know, we don't want to be scared. We don't want to think. And now I think we're learning that we should be thinking. We should be making decisions for ourselves, and that's a good thing. You know, when a lot of brains, we have 350 million people. You know, when all the brains are working, bad can't. Like, I mean, there's definitely bad, but like, the cream rises to the top. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I for some people, I bet that they're pissed that this is going to be over.
Yeah.
There have got to be people who this is a better alternative to what they had previously, which is weird too.
Yeah.
I mean, but like they get to stay at home. And I'm just saying, it's funny to think about that. They're going to be like, damn it, the quarantine's over. I have to go back. Well, I mean go ahead.
I'd say I'm fortunate. Like, we're all fortunate to be able to still like, be employed, things like that. I'd say I'm fortunate in that we've been, you know, KSA&D, the owners have kind of enabled us to be in a flexible working environment. What does that mean? Actually allowing us to work remotely. If we do have to go into the office, they installed this, like, it's crazy, this UV air scrubber.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that literally it goes into your air system.
That's Tyler. You see his face light up?
Yeah, and it kills like 99.9% of germs. So I made I mean, of course, I made the joke, like, now I can come in sick every time I want. But seriously, I think that more precautions are being taken. We see it all across the board. We see adjustments in all walks of life, and I think it'll be cool to see kind of how it plays out and how quickly it opens, because I got to get out of the house.
Yeah. What's your opinion on that? Like, in the professional world, corporate America. And not only that, a lot of people that are still able to work from home, I think companies are, you know, use the word pivot. They've pivoted and sent people home. They're still working. Do you think that might be something, especially in advertising, that might stick around?
I think in some cases, I think it depends on your mindset of your organization. I would say, you know, me personally, I'm a little bit more old school when it comes to, like, I like to be in front of you. I like to, I see a value in a handshake, things like that. But I think there's going to be instances where we have to work remotely. I mean, every day we work with clients in the UK. We have to do this. So it may be adjusting to the client's preference too. You know, if you're talking the advertising agency side of the world, what does the client prefer? I mean, are they all mobile? That means I've got to be mobile. So it's more adjusting to their needs than anything else, I think.
I think too, it's really made it, people have to catch up. Like, so now they say, hey, there's value in this technology. I'm not blaming anybody, but I could have learned this 6 months ago and been ahead of the curve. And now I'm, you know, catching up and I need it. So I think it's kind of shown that value of live videos might be something you can look into. Like, it opens up possibilities for, you know, even smaller businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some, like, for instance, Good Shepherd, they raise money for their pediatric center, and they do this gala every year. And this year it's a complete virtual gala. They're going to be utilizing YouTube Live, still hopefully getting as many donors as they did in the past for their pediatric, but it's things like that. Like, you can look at that event. Let's talk about Music Fest. I mean, I
don't want to.
Yeah, that would be a really sad day.
Yeah, it's you know, I don't know anything, but it just seems tough. But then again,
you know, like, it's no matter how it goes, I think with what we're doing on Zoom and what we're learning, you know, virtually, worst case scenario, I think there will be something, you know, we'll be able to enjoy some kind of entertainment, which is kind of comforting. No matter, and obviously we don't know anything. We're not making any statements, but
I have no idea. Yeah,
you know, hopefully something happens.
I really wanted to see Rob Zombie though. Like, I was pumped. I was gonna get like all dressed up.
Yeah, well, an element of it too. I mean, I lose a week of people watching.
Well, yeah, we had a scavenger hunt. I didn't even think about that. We kind of changed it, but yeah, like, Music Fest is kind of where we were even born it's just so fun. It's the best time, and I will, it'll be back sometime.
It
Yeah.
will.
And so you're an advertiser. If you have, do you have like what got you into that, space? And do you have like a favorite ad where you try to like, you see like, wow, they crushed that, like, or like some kind of marketing campaign that, inspired you to get into the business?
That's a really good question. I will say so I'll answer your first question first. Before I joined the Army, I went to Kutztown and was a communications major. Backing up from that, growing up, a lot of kids, when they were hanging out with their dad, did a lot of like throwing around the baseball, other things like that. My dad gave me a intro to HTML book at like 11. So I am not a coder by any means, but I was always very interested in the web. So that was kind of that piece. As far as advertising campaigns, there's one that will always stick out in my memory, and I don't know if it's because I'm a sports fan or if it's just because it was an awesome ad campaign. But Right Guard in the early 90s did one with both Charles Barkley and Hulk Hogan, where they were dressed as like 18th century lords or ladies, and the line was, anything less would be uncivilized.
Yeah, I remember.
Charles Barkley smelled the cologne at the end of the deodorant. So that one kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, that's a great one. How about you, George? Do you have one?
Well, hold on a second. I'm queuing this up. I can't think off the top of my head. This is a good one. Let's see if I get this to go. Boom. 1 second.
It is interesting that
to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection.
Oh, fuck.
For his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
I guess that's not the exact one, but yeah, I think that's funny that it's your. It's on my path to advertising glory.
You don't have one, George?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure I do. I don't know. I usually like really bad campaigns. I can't think. I'll remember one soon, but I can't think off the top of my head. But that's like. What's so interesting about now is what am I trying to say? Just the fact that you're able to pivot and come up with some of these new ideas that I've seen. Like we're talking to Crave, where we're gonna like walk down there and just go live for fun, and we know we're gonna get a lot of viewers. And that's not something where 4 months ago, if we did that on a regular Tuesday, anyone would give a shit. And now we might get a couple dozen viewers on that. So. What about you, Tyler? Do you remember any?
Whatever that's worth. What?
I said, do you remember any advertising campaigns? I can't think because it's kind of bugging me. I know some good ones.
I mean, you always like Super Bowl. You always kind of like remember those ads, and I was kind of embarrassed. I was at an embarrassing age when I learned that ad companies exist. I think I was like 24. I didn't really think of it, and I was probably like their prime demographic. Somebody that doesn't know that we're trying to speak to them is sitting there. But I enjoy. I'm trying to think. I like the Bud Light, or was it Bud Light where they say "was up"?
Yeah.
I like the Dilly one too. That's a good one.
And that's the whole thing. Well, go ahead, Fred.
I will say one that stuck out from last year, and it was like it was tough for me to like. So we work with Google all the time, like the search engine marketing, display ads, stuff like that. So I should be like their number one fan. But they had a commercial about Google Photos, and it was this older woman who couldn't remember her husband, and they were able to take all these photos and put them all together. And I looked over on the couch, and my wife is like ready to cry. And I turned over and was like, "Don't you do that?
Yeah.
What they're doing to you. This is what the Google's all about."
The Google, they're coming in.
Well,
No,
I didn't even realize that I was, being targeted. Like growing up, like Super Bowls and stuff, I didn't even realize that the ads were working on me. And then I took like a class in college. I'm like, oh my God, they've been in my brain this whole time. What's going on?
Well, it's funny when you're like, you're in the supermarket and your daughter's like, I want that because I saw it on a YouTube commercial. Which, listen, to each their own. We let her watch some stuff, and it's hard to get away from absolutely every commercial because you'll see stuff and she'll recognize it, and you're like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a great example of that. Ryan's, has your daughter watched Ryan's Toy Channel on YouTube?
I don't. She watches a channel where they play with toys, and it has every video. You know what? I'm gonna bring this up because it's I can't.
So this kid
you're
named
gonna
Ryan,
watch this and you're gonna quit everything you're doing.
Well, this kid named Ryan does the same thing, and now he has products at Target. So they'll literally see the red dot on my tablet.
Oh my God! Oh my! Oh, I gotta wait for this to come. The ad.
Dolly's gonna come screaming into the room like, "Is that Ryan?"
Yeah, exactly.
Do you, as somebody that works in advertising, do you take notice of these things?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you try to evaluate what's working on even your loved ones?
To go shopping with you.
Oh yeah, well that's one of the things we have to do is always keep that in mind.
Well, girls, that changed
you see that?
Because I
look at this. I just want to bring something up here. It's just they play with toys. There's nothing. I mean, I guess you're getting the advertisement of these toys. It May 16th. It was like 4 days ago. 4.3 million views. This is the whole video. There's nothing special here. It's playing. Like, how much money do they make off that video?
Well, and what we're not considering is in there what the toys are playing with, like those Ritz crackers and the Hidden Valley Ranch stuff. You can't think that Hidden Valley's not putting a little bit of money into there. Tresemme, Mentos.
Yep.
Oh my God! Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, and do you take stock in that? Do you when you look over and your wife is tearing up over a Google commercial, are you taking mental notes like, well, this is striking a chord with people. How can I adapt this into my business? And
so everything that we do, I try to be cognizant of everything that's going on in the world with advertising, what I see, my family members reacting to, what I emotionally react to, things like that. And I try to, in any kind of campaign that we do, regardless of what industry it is, we try to target it towards obviously that audience. So we're working for a health network, patients first. You're looking at, a land surveying organization. How do we reach the people that are going to be using those tools and those solutions, things like that? And how do we evoke emotion through what we're doing?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a science. It's like kind of like a science, right? Like or a math formula too.
Here's the thing that bugs me a little, like, about this conversation is, that there's people who think like all advertising is bad or something like that. And I mean, I understand the concept of that. Because, like, Tyler, we were just talking about how you were tricked for that a period of time. The goal is to make you evoke an emotion or act on something. And, it's just, it bothers me when people think it's all negative, because it isn't. Like, there's advertising that is positive to me. Like, when I bought this fuel, or it's called Fuel. It's like a nutrition mix through specific advertising that was targeted to me. And it's done wonders for me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to say that it's weird to me that some people think like all advertising in all forms is this horrible thing. But it's not.
I think in a digital age, I think that's where people get kind of confused. If you think back, I don't know, guys, like in the 80s as kids, right? You go to the grocery store, product placement was a huge piece. I mean, it still is, but that's how you saw stuff. Like, I'm walking down the kids aisle. I see a RoboCop toy, or I see Batman's helmet right at my eye level.
Right.
They're targeting me. that's what that is. It's my age group that they're looking at. And it has never gone away. It's just it comes in different mediums now, and it's more accessible.
It's not deceptive.
Exactly.
Deceptive is bad. Good marketing that it bugs me if people are like, oh, it's all.
Well, you do feel it when you buy a product that's been marketed to you, and you like the product, and you're happy to have found the product. That makes you feel good. You appreciate the ad. You know,
Absolutely.
and I think that's the perfect relationship between a consumer, a company, and the marketing campaign, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that, and then in turn that parlays into more advertising, honestly, for your organization. You've found a solution for that person. You're ultimately, as an advertiser, you're a solutions provider.
These guys advertise to me. And I'm looking through. Look, I bought.
Dude, I own a pair.
I own a pair.
American flag. If that isn't George Wacker, I don't know what it is.
You want to see the one the one I own that I purchased? I own these. These are in my
cousin Eddie.
I swear, these
excellent.
downstairs. But they advertise to me on Facebook, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, I need some joy in my life. These things are hilarious, and I got them, and they're great. I would buy another pair if they weren't $60. I think this one is enough. But I don't know. Like, I appreciated that. I know that it's a stupid product to a degree, but I still reacted positively to it. I wasn't mad at them for showing up on my timeline.
No, it's cousin Eddie's Crocs. They're
fantastic. I go kayaking.
Excellent.
I don't go kayaking in those, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
What about this is kind of for both of you. I know you're both kind of in the same boat. Like, I'm not like an ad guy. Like, I just kind of try to say funny stuff on the internet, and George lets me work with him. But that's
Tyler lets me drink Trulies. So we're all, it's a good relationship.
What do you think about this? Because it just happened to me. Like, and I have a lot of friends that the Dollar Shave Club nailed that. Like, they buy into it. And this like direct to consumer type thing where there's this Dr. Squatch, like Sasquatch soap, and it is direct to consumer marketing. I was sold immediately. But they don't have commercials. They don't have, and like you see it with like Bird Dogs. I mean, Bird Dogs is getting a little bigger. What do you think about, is that where the future of this is going, where it's not so much going to be a bunch of people in a boardroom coming up with this campaign that's going to be on every channel, but it's going to be more of like social media based, direct to consumer type marketing?
I think it's all about really the three of us. I mean, if you think about it, that's who these things are going to. I think they're playing to a specific demographic. I think if we keep buying it, they'll keep putting it out. What I see is these like Bird Dogs and things like that. Those Dr. Squatch love that.
Well, like watch this. Like, we'll get an example. Like, I'm a big fan of this type of marketing.
Really sexy.
The Garden of Eden.
Feels like I'm showering in a waterfall with that. I like it.
It's James Schrader with Dr. Squatch doing the scent test, man on the street. And if you haven't questioned what soap you use, Morgan & Morgan want you to.
Oh my God, he's horrible.
All right, so go ahead and close your eyes, and I'm just going to hold up one of our competitors' bars and just tell me what you smell. So, Taylor, you're first.
It smells like just classic bathroom soap.
I wouldn't say it smells natural. It kind of smells like when you drive by one of those big factories.
Tell me what you smell.
All right, we got to get to
Really got in there.
It's clean, but yeah, it smells like my grandpa.
It doesn't remind me of my. It definitely doesn't remind me of my grandpa, which is excellent.
That's a bonus, I guess.
All right, whatever. We get the idea.
No, you know, a great one, the Squatty Potty. You remember that one?
There's one in my house.
Yeah, they had. I want to almost say that that type of advertising, they really kicked it off. That's what, 4 or 5 years ago now?
It's absurd. You know, it's absurd.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, the thing that I think audiences don't like as much anymore. This could be. I mean, it all depends. But being like these really nice, finely done ads. And this isn't true for everywhere, but they kind of appreciate some of these crappily done. Like, that guy was horrible, but he was funny because I feel like they know that they're in on the joke.
Right.
With you.
Absolutely.
So you can do it that way, and you don't. It doesn't have to be this crazily well produced thing, you know.
But a kid that's going to school right now for marketing, are they going to learn? What are they going to learn? You know, or when your kids go to school and they want to get into the business, get into advertising or marketing. What are they going to be taught? Are they going to learn the same things that you were taught? Probably not. But is this the way it's going to go?
It's interesting, George. Didn't you teach or you guest taught at Lehigh at some point for a social media class?
Northampton Community College. I did some, or whatever you call it. Like every couple of months, I'd go in and it would to kind of instruct small business owners. Here are some skills on what you can do today to help your business out.
Right. Like, I mean, if we look back, social media really was just beginning, probably towards the tail end of us, being in college at the age that we're at. Now there's actually full on courses for the thing. So that's one piece. I know I took a course a few years ago, and they specifically talked about neuromarketing and how Google leverages neuromarketing and how they think one day it'll be illegal because they're sitting there with diodes on your head, having you watch basically A/B test these commercials with your emotions. There's a lot of different things. Me too. If you $50,
I wanted I don't want to decide. Like, if you can tell me what's best for me, they give it to me. I'm happy. Like, I'll trust you.
Use your brain, George. We just talked about
I'll use it for something else. Like, if they can just say, George, we have decided that loafers are what you need, I'll be like, all right, I trust you. Let's go. And then I can worry about other shit and not have to worry about, what fun stuff I should buy. I'm in. Plug me into the plug me into the system.
I imagine it being like Bill Murray in the beginning of Ghostbusters, where he's got the girl in the room and he's got the cards and he's trying to see if the guy's actually telekinetic.
You know what I did?
Giving him electric shocks.
So I have all my pills in the morning, just like whatever, stupid supplements and vitamins. And I ran out of one. So I told the Alexa in my bathroom to reorder it for me. It was there the next day.
Yeah.
Like, that is amazing to me, and I love it. And if that means the government's spying on me, then hello. Because I need that freedom. But it's weird. It is weird that, we're obviously kind of allowing it into our home a little bit more, but it's hard to get away from it. You can't really. I mean,
it's everywhere.
Like advertising, it's fun because I have a friend who works for Fast Signs, and I'm so focused on like digital all the time that you forget about how important like that stuff still is, and it's everywhere,
Absolutely.
And it's
there's so many different mediums. I think it's probably the toughest right now for the traditional groups. Probably because like nobody's on the road right now. So who's looking at that? Who's looking at the billboard and things like that? But there will always be a place for that, and traditional advertising will always be important. So
that's interesting too. That is cool that our grandparents and great grandparents, they were targeted through billboards,
right.
And we will be too. However, I mean, but there's definitely things that they had no idea would even exist, like Instagram and that. But there's still those traditional avenues of marketing, that will never go away.
This is crazy. Like, this is, we're 2020, and this is, people are selling out of these. You can't find these. I mean, you can now, but in the beginning, you couldn't find them. It's just, that's probably going to be, we did for Music Fest, we tried to do something fun. We did the straws last year, which were pretty big. Whatever, they did all right. So I think masks has to be it. It's what everyone's going to have. So
it's got to be.
And it's not even like you're copying anybody. It's like, just make a better mask, make it look cooler.
How long until professional athletes are selling tattoo space on their bodies?
Oh, that might not be far off.
Really? Oh God.
That might not be far off. I mean, if you look at the NBA, right? Well, if
you're the UFC and they're like $5,000, those guys will do it.
Oh yeah, you'll get Chuck Liddell will have his bottom lip His bottom lip tattooed for icecream.com or something for $500.
Are you like me? Whenever I talk about the WWE, I just talk about the last time I watched it. So I don't know anybody new. So I'm like, oh, Hulk Hogan is still in that, right?
Yeah, that's
like Chuck Liddell's been retired for like 30 years.
I basically where my memory stops, so did life. So like the Ultimate Warrior wrestled Monday night. I know he did. Not even a question.
Yeah. That's
fun. Yeah, so hey, this has been fun. We're gonna have to price some of these out and see what we can do.
That'll be awesome. And
I'm I'm taking my kayak out for the first time. I don't know if you guys kayak at all. I act like I'm a kayaker, but I'm going to like Lake Nakamixon. I hope it's not horrible.
Oh, Nakamixon's cool. I've never. So I've been bugging the household to get me a kayak. It's
bugging the household.
It's been a no thus far.
Why are the no's? What are the no's?
Because my son wants to do tandem in there.
Okay.
And you're jumping from like 150 for an inflatable one person.
Oh yeah.
To like $800 just to have a second seat in the darn thing.
Yeah. I just got a single and I was like, wow, this is not cheap, but I want to keep it. It's an investment for a long time, I hope.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, if you buy the tandem, you're also buying a motor that can paddle for you. You have your son can just do the paddling.
Or if he's not there, it's more room for Trulies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I like to call him a utility kid because like there's a bunch of things that I won't need. Like if I get a kayak, I obviously won't need a motor. I don't need a snowblower. I've got a human shoveler. I've got a weed whacker. It works out really well for me.
Yeah, that's great. I got to get maybe I got to get a couple of those.
Yeah, my daughter doesn't do anything yet. I'm looking forward to that day. Hey, thank you for taking some time out. This was fun.
No, it was fun. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck.
When this is over, we'll meet up sometime when this is all out.
Absolutely. Hey, take care, fellas.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.